What's up, you guys? It's Cody. Welcome back to another video here on the channel, Living in Salt Lake City. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons not to move to Utah. If you still decide to make the move to Utah after we talk about this, then make sure to get in touch with me. My information is here on the screen. I absolutely love it when you guys reach out saying, Cody, I'm relocating to your area. I need help buying a house. Can you please help me? I've had people from all across the world reach out saying these things to me, and I absolutely love it. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay guys, so as we jump into this, I do have to say, look, I know you appreciate my transparency and honesty here on this channel. I've had lots of you reach out to me and say, Cody, I wanted to work with you because you're really transparent and honest about what it's like to live in Salt Lake City. You tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this video is going to be no different. Look, having lived in Utah for my entire life, I know that there's some things that are not perfect about living here. There's going to be some things that are different for people, and there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made. So as we jump into number 1 here, I do have to say, look, we're not very close to other cities. That's number 1 on our list. If you want to get to other major cities, you're going to have to plan at least a half day to a full day's drive. If you're flying, it is going to be shorter, but you do have to factor in packing your bag, going to the airport, going through security, flying, getting a car, doing all of that to get on the other end. So basically, if you're trying to get to another major city, such as anywhere in California, the Northwest, maybe it's Colorado, maybe it's Texas, maybe it's Montana or something, you're probably going to have to plan for a full day's drive or at least a full day worth of travel just to get to that area. Out here in Utah, especially Salt Lake, we're not really close to anything. The next major big city is Boise, and that's about 4.5 hours away. You've got Denver, which I believe is like 7 or 8 hours, and then you've got Vegas, which is about 6 hours. So there are some other big cities around, but it does take at least a half to a full day's worth of travel to get to those areas. Comparing this to cities on the West Coast, if you're living in LA, you can get to San Diego in about, 1 to 2 hours, depending on traffic. If you're living on the East Coast, this is going to be a major adjustment for you. If you're on the East Coast, you can go like to any major city you want, anywhere there in the Northeast within like a couple of hours drive. It's kind of crazy when I look at the map and realize how close everything is when you get up to that part of the world. Now, here in Utah, we are a little bit spread out. So just keep that in mind. If you do a lot of traveling or you want to visit these other cities, you are going to have to plan for a little bit more travel time than you might be used to. The second reason not to move here to Utah would be if you love rain, then Utah is probably not the place to be. Honestly, we haven't had a ton of rain lately. We just had a rainstorm last night, and that's actually kind of what got me thinking about this video, was because I absolutely love the rain and I wish it rained a little bit more here in Utah. Utah is ranked among the top states for most sunny days in 1 year, but I do wish it rained a little bit more. Unfortunately, we don't get a ton of rain, and when it does rain, it only rains for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and then the storm kind of passes through. We don't get those long rains that last all day where it's cloudy and it's raining on and off. We really don't get that here in Utah. For someone who's lived here their whole life, I wish we got a little bit more rain, but if you're coming from the Northwest or another rainy part of the world, you might actually really appreciate that we get a lot of sun here and a lot of heat. I know that anytime there's a rainstorm, I love to go outside and just watch it and just enjoy the rain because it doesn't happen that often. Maybe once a month, but realistically, it's about once every other month when we get a big rainstorm that comes through. All right, moving on. As we jump into number 3 here, if you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I release videos about everything you need to know about what it's like to live here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and all of the surrounding areas. I talk about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Number 3 on our list is if you want stuff to be open 24/7, you're going to have a little bit of an adjustment coming here to Utah. Because of the large influx of the LDS community, a lot of things are closed on Sunday. A lot of the mom and pop businesses are closed on Sundays. All of your major stuff is going to be open, or anything that's like a chain, a chain fast food restaurant or a Walmart or a Costco or whatever. All of that stuff is going to be open on Sunday still, but you will be also facing reduced hours. Many people who come from other major cities are used to things being open until 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. And unfortunately here in Utah, that's just not the case. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of different stores that shut down at like 8, 9, maybe 10 p.m. unless you're going to like a bar or a fancy restaurant or even just a more well-known or popular restaurant, those are all going to close between like 8 to 10 p.m. The bars and restaurants will be open later. You know, bars might be open until like 1 or 2 a.m., but the fancier restaurants are probably open until 11, maybe midnight if you're lucky. So if you want stuff to be open all the time, if you want stuff to be open in the middle of the night, or if you want stuff to be open on Sunday, that's going to be an adjustment for you. That might be a reason not to move here. If that's something that's really important to you, then you have to take that into consideration. I don't really think it's a big deal. I think, in fact, Sundays are the best days to go and do stuff because it's less busy. There's not as many people out doing those things. That's generally the day that people take it for rest. They go out on hikes, they go do stuff outdoors. So if you're doing any type of shopping or anything like that, I generally think that's a little bit better of a day to do that anyway. I do wish that restaurants and different fast food places and just stores in general were open later. It'd be a lot more convenient when you have those late nights, but it is what it is. Okay, so moving on to number 4 here, this might actually be seen as a huge positive for a lot of people out there, but I think that some people here in Utah would say that it's actually a negative. If you've grown up here, if you've lived here your whole life, you might look at this and say, I wish this was a little bit different. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about having perfect weather. No, we do not have perfect weather here. We do go through a lot of instances where it can be really hot, and then it's cold, and then it's rainy, and then it's snowing, and then it's sunny, and this can happen all within 24 hours. We get a ton of drastic changes in the weather here, which can be a little bit unpredictable. You might look outside and say, it's 65 degrees and sunny, it's going to be a nice day. And then later that afternoon, it's 40 degrees and raining, and you're wondering what happened. So we get a lot of changes like that, and it can be a little bit unpredictable. Again, if you're coming from out of state, you might really appreciate that. If you've lived here for a long time, you might just get used to it, and you might just say, it is what it is, but it is something worth considering. The weather here can be a little bit unpredictable. Okay, so the 5th reason not to move to Utah would be if you hate doing things outdoors. Yeah, that's a little bit sarcastic to say that. Unfortunately, I couldn't really come up with a 5th reason not to move to Utah. We have a lot going here for us, and I think a lot of people see that and they realize the opportunity that Utah has to offer, and that's why they're making that move here. So I did have to throw this one in there. If you hate doing stuff outdoors, then Utah is probably not the place for you. We don't have a ton of entertainment options compared to other major cities. We don't have a ton of bars and nightlife that you're going to find in these other cities. But if you want outdoor recreation, Utah is unmatched when it comes to that stuff. If that's what you're looking for, then Utah is the place to be. If you're looking for that entertainment, that other stuff, then yeah, there's going to be other options out there that are better for you. And so with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are thinking about making a move here to Salt Lake City, Utah, or any of the surrounding areas, make sure to get in touch with me. My information is here on the screen. I absolutely love it when you guys reach out. I've had so many people reach out over the last couple months saying, Cody, I'm moving to your area. Can you please help me find something? And I absolutely love it when you guys do. Give me a thumbs up here on the video if you haven't already, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing about what it's like to live here in Salt Lake City, Utah. With that said, catch you in the next one.